Hello and welcome to episode 232 in the Datapack tutorial series, version 1.2, 1.8. We will be, run longer to run faster. Does it make sense? Let me demonstrate. Basically, the longer we're running, the faster we're going to run. And you can hear my little footsteps. Whoa, getting quicker. And we're just going to keep getting faster and faster and faster until we stop. And then when we stop, we're back to normal. And then we can start again. And off we go. There we go. Okay, I haven't actually done this very long. I'd imagine you're going to end up going very, very fast. Now, I started looking into this because I wanted a way for the Infernal Editions Datapack to sort of make you run faster. I thought this would be pretty cool if you put it on some boots or something. Let's have a look online and see if we can find anything. So I did. I looked online. Someone said, hey, I want to be like Sonic. I want to speed up the longer I run. And GalSergey, because it's so lovely, had already supplied all of the commands. So all of the credit is going to GalSergey again for this one. I've already emptied the Datapack. If we do a reload, nothing is going to happen now. So let's just pop over to the Datapack and start filling it in. Let's head off and build it now. Right. So let's go and have a look. So here we are in the Datapack. We've got 4 functions in our little run directory there. We're going to use the load and the tick, and we're going to have an is sprinting predicate. So I think we'll start with that predicate. So we'll pop straight over to misode. I'm already on predicates. If you don't have predicate on your recently used, it will be in all generators. And let's just check entity properties. The entity will be this. The predicate will be a flag, and it will be is sprinting. True. Done. Copy that. Let's take it back, and let's pop it into our predicate there. There we go. Let's just line that up. Okay, let's save that. Done. That was nice and easy. I should imagine probably load will do next, because we're going to have some scores we'll need. So let's do scoreboard, objectives, add, and let's call it sprint, and we'll make it a dummy. I have forgotten which keys I need to use to copy that line, so I'll just use a normal copy. And we'll have a sprint.copy. Okay, one called sprint, one called sprint.copy. We'll save that. We'll pop over to the tick, and we will execute as any player. In fact, we'll just do that. Execute as any player, and then we'll run. Now, we could put everything in the tick, but I like to keep it a bit tidier, so we'll have a function, and we'll tick player. Let's save that. Okay, now makes sense that we go to do tick player. Check if the player is sprinting. Execute if predicate, my predicate is sprinting. Run scoreboard players add s sprint 1. Okay, so if they're holding down the sprint key or they're running, we're going to add 1 to their score. And then we'll do execute if score at s sprint is greater than, that's a question mark, don't do that, is greater than at s sprint copy. We will run function speed up. Okay, and we'll have execute if score equals whose score and what score equals at s sprint copy. Then we will run function speed reset, and let's update the copy. Scoreboard players, then operation at s sprint copy equals at s sprint. Okay, so we're holding down the key, it adds 1, sprint copy will be 1 behind, so we are still running, yes, and we do this one. They're not the same, so we don't do this one, and then we update sprint copy to equal sprint. So let's say sprint equals 1, sprint copy now equals 1, we go back round. We're not holding the button now to run, so we don't get added 1. So sprint copy and sprint are the same, and we execute this one and stop instead. Okay, that seems good. Right, what do we need? I suppose let's do speed up. So let's pop over to speed up. Store the player's run score. Okay, so we need to get their current sprint score, and we need to store it so we can pass it in a macro. So let's execute store result into storage, ID temp. We'll call it attribute dot speed. We'll save it there. And we'll save it as a double. 0.201. That's our scale, so we'll make it a lot smaller. We'll run our scoreboard. Players get at S sprint. So we're getting the sprint score, saving it into storage, and then we will function speed attribute with storage ID temp attribute. So inside of speed attribute we have access to the speed number, which is equivalent to their sprint score after it's had this multiplier applied to it. Okay, so it'll be nice and small. Save that. So that should make us speed up, but we're never going to slow. Well, let's test that. I think that should make us speed up and we'll never slow down. No, because we haven't applied the speed attribute. Oh, well, we can test. What we can test is we can test to see if it's in storage. So let's do a storage. That's not how you do it. Let's do a data get storage ID temp. Right, what have you got in there already? You got some. Oh, it looks like we've got some stuff from when I've been testing. Okay, so let's remove all this data. Remove attribute. And we've still got a switch in there. That must be from an old tutorial. Oh, yes, from the heads maybe or something. Right, let's do a data get now. There's nothing in there. So if I start running, and now we do a data get. If I start running, and now I do a data get, helps if you reload. Okay, so that's our number. Cool, so we've saved it. So that was, what happens if I run longer? Now we'll do a data get. Okay, we've got a higher number. As we would expect, this number is going to keep going up while we're pressing sprint, and we're saving it into storage. Okay, that's what we expect. Now we're going to apply that as a speed modifier to the player. So we'll go to speed attribute, remove any existing speed attribute. So they've already got one, we're going to remove it. Attribute at S, and it will be, I suppose it would be the movement, wouldn't it? Minecraft movement speed. Yeah, that makes sense. Remove, let's give it, oh, we have to say modifier first, don't we? So we want a modifier and we want to remove the modifier. We need an ID for it. I mean, we could just call it something like 1, but I'm going to use my Datapack namespace. So I'm going to put ID YT underline 232 Datapack, and let's call it speed booster. Okay, so we're going to remove any modifiers they already have with that ID, and then we'll add a new one. So we'll do attribute at S, Minecraft movement speed, and we want to add one this time, and let's give it the same ID. Add. Again, I've forgotten to put the modifier in there. Modifier, add, that's its ID, and we want to have a value, so let's just put 1 for now, and then say add value. Okay, now if we run this, we're just going to keep applying a speed boost of 1, and it's never going to go up. So this is where we're going to use their score, and their score, we did multiplication on it, and we saved it into speed, and we are passing that. So let's change that 1 to the value we're passing, which is speed. Now this line is using macro variables or passed arguments. So let's put a little $sign at the beginning. Keep that happy. Okay. So now that number's going to go up in storage, and it's going to apply that number to us. So it should be working now. It's just it'll never stop working. This time we'll remember to do a reload. So let's run. Whoa, my. Okay, so we got an instant boost there straight away, because remember we'd already stored a number, so we had that number instantly applied. And when we stop, it doesn't go down. So if we do a data get, we can see we're on 0.252. So that's the speed boost we're applying. So you've already made something. The more you run, the faster you're going to go forever and ever and ever. You're never going to stop. Now we're on a 3.87. Okay, cool. So what we need to do is we have a look in tick player. We can see here sprint copy is being sent to sprint. Because we've now let go of the button, sprint doesn't get one added to it. So sprint and sprint copy are the same. So we will run speed reset. So let's go to speed reset. Reset the run score. Okay, so that's just a scoreboard, isn't it? Scoreboard players. We'll do a set, because we'll set it to 0, which is effectively, we're not resetting it to null. We're setting it to 0. So we're not really doing a reset there. We're more doing a set the run score to 0. And now we just reset the attribute. So we just have to remove it again. So imagine that is going to be exactly the same as the command in speed attribute. Here we go. Attribute at S, movement speed modifier, remove any modifier with that ID. We'll just copy that and put it in there. Like so. Let's go back. We had a little bit of boost left over from last time. We should be normal again now. Yeah. And we're going to speed up, speed up, speed up. That's good. Because I am still sprinting, so my sprint score is going up. And there we go. Let's stick sprint score. So we're basically done, but let's have a little look anyway. Let's stick sprint score onto the sidebar. Now, so you can see as I'm running, it's counting up. So I've been running for 100 ticks, 120, 140 ticks. Oh, I just clipped the corner of that chest and it took my run away. So the reason why we are, let's go to tick player. No, we want speed up. The reason why we're doing this scale here is because obviously I don't want to be flying around the map at uncontrollable speeds. That's just too much. So we want to shrink that number down. If we set this to 1, for instance, I reckon it's going to be pretty ridiculous. So let's say I've got a sprint score of 120. 120 is what I'm going to put into the storage, and 120 is the movement attribute I'm going to apply to myself. I reckon we might just shoot off into the distance. Let's find out. Oh my. Okay, so yeah, that's clearly not what we want. Oh my God. There we go. We're back. So we have to shrink that number down. So all we're doing is we're moving a decimal place. So we could do 0.1. Make it a little bit smaller, but that's still probably going to be too quick. So that would be, let's say I had 100 sprint score. We would now have a sprint score of 10. That's still going to be too fast. So let's add another 0, 0.01. If I had 100 sprint, I would now have a sprint score of 1. Still probably going to be too fast. Add another 0. If I have 100 sprint score, I'm now going to have a sprint score of 0.01. And that sort of works out that it's a reasonably nice speed. Let's go back and check that. Yeah, I mean, it's quite a nice start. It starts off slowish, but it doesn't take too long before you really start to notice it. Now here, in a flat world, you could get up to some pretty hefty speed, but if you are running across natural Minecraft terrain, you're going to bump into stuff every now and then. So keeping that speed up would be quite hard. So it's not as OP as it seems. It also worked for racetracks. If you made a racetrack map, just have people running around it. I kind of like it. Now I think what I would do, because at the moment we're just ticking it, it works for everyone. what I would be tempted, instead of having our tick function here, I would be tempted to have this run by an enchantment on a pair of boots. And the enchantment could have a tick. So when you're wearing the boots, bang, it engages and runs this function. And when you take the boots off, it's not running for you. So that's probably a change I would make. I would stick it on a pair of boots as an enchantment instead. Anyway, we've got the basic idea down. It certainly seems to work okay. Let's take that scoreboard off the sideboard, just so I don't forget. There we go. And I'll do some tidying up in a minute. Right, there we go. Nice quick one today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. And I'll see you all soon. And thanks to GalSergey. Bye-bye.